Minasan, okay, cool, otsukaresama desu, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Dojo. Guys, I'm very sorry. I'm sure my voice is a little bit echoey today, and the reason is because I don't have my usual microphone with me. I'm actually in a hotel in the area Kasukabe, which is Saitama Prefecture. I think I told you guys a little bit about that I'll be heading over to the Kanto area for filming and training and taking exams and all that kind of stuff, and this is actually the last day, and I'm right about to check out, actually, just in about 20 minutes or so. I'll be heading back over to Kyoto, getting on a Shinkansen and stuff like that. But I was like, well, I still have about 20 or so minutes. I could do something else. Always have something to do, with video editing and stuff like that. But I was like, well, I haven't been able to post an episode on Beyond Dojo for a while, so I was like, yeah, why not use this time to do that? So I'm here. I'll try to take away the echoiness as much as possible through the editing, but I'm really sorry the audio quality isn't as high. Now, guys, before I talk about all the other stuff that I did on this business trip this time, yes, what you are watching right now on the screen, yes, is my fourth dan exam. Thank you so much. So, like I explained to you guys before, Asayama Ichiden-ryu Hyoho, the Budo Ryuha that I train in, we currently have two dan rank systems. One is we call it the Honbu dan rank in English. We call it sometimes the Honbu, it's kenjutsu main, so that's the ones that the students who get to actually train with Seki Sensei in person will take the exams. And we also have the online dan grading exams as well, which are mainly for the students who are taking the online lessons. We have these two different systems. And the online lessons, this was my fourth dan exam. And I'll be taking the third dan Honbu exam this June. I already have a schedule set to come back over here again to again film videos, join the training, and also take the exam. And this time the Honbu. But as you see in the video, yes, this time I came in March this time, but I took the fourth dan exam. And I am very, very, very honored and happy to announce to all of you that I have successfully passed. Thank you so much. It is really all thanks to the senseis who have instructed me. It's really all thanks to the members who are taking our online lessons. I'm a very, very lucky person, probably the luckiest person in the whole community of Asayama Ichiden-ryu Hyoho. I get to be with the senseis. I get to interpret Seki Sensei's words and transfer his messages and teachings worldwide, basically. And being able to hear, seriously listen to what the senseis are always saying, and converting it into my own words and explaining to everyone definitely gives me a really, really deeper understanding, of course, of the teachings, of the way his mindsets and everything. And if I didn't have the role that I have right now, as the manager, I guess, of the online lessons, and also the manager of all the international communication Seki Sensei has to take, I definitely would not have been where I am right now. I'm really, really grateful that I am in charge of what I am doing right now. I'm very, very lucky. And if it weren't for, of course, the senseis to stay up until 1 a.m. every weekend, every Saturdays and Sundays, even on Fridays, to Shandai senseis, Scott Sensei, Kurosawa senseis, they stay up until 12 o'clock midnight to after training that starts from around 6:30 or 7 o'clock. So 5 hours of training. Yeah, and if it's till 1 a.m., that's like about 6 hours of training from the evening, or maybe even longer sometimes. So yeah, and it's also thanks to the members who are taking the online lessons, because if we didn't have any students, of course we wouldn't be able to do anything. So it's all thanks to everyone that's been supporting Asayama Ichiden-ryu so much that I was able to pass this exam this time. Now, this was the fourth dan exam, so the next exam will be the fifth dan exam I'll be taking next year. So from the third dan exam, to be able to apply for the fourth dan exam, we need 1 year. And between the fourth and fifth dan too, we need another year as well. So we do the exam 2 times a year, but we won't be able to immediately apply for the fifth dan exam. And even if we could, we probably wouldn't be able to pass anyways. So it's perfectly fine. But yeah, the fifth dan exam is the highest rank, both at Honbu and also at in online lessons too. So online, Honbu, both fifth dan is the highest. So yeah, I'll hopefully be taking the 5th Dan exam next year, and maybe the 4th Dan exam at the Hombu. At the Hombu though, it seems, of course, systems are completely different, whether you actually get to see Seki Sensei usually in your regular training and stuff like that. So the 4th and 5th Dan exams, it seems that Seki Sensei basically decides who is going to be taking the exam. Yeah. So hopefully at that time next year, Seki Sensei will ask you, would you like to take the exam? So I'll just have to continue training as hard as I can. And my dream, of course, my first dream to be able to tie a black belt. So the 5th Dan rank in the online lessons is the time you finally get to tie a black belt. And at the Hombu, the belt system is different too, actually. The online lessons, we have this system of changing the outer obi's color. I'm sure if you've seen me training at the Kyoto Dojo or in the online lessons, I usually tie a green belt that represents the 3rd Dan. So the no Dan students and 1st Dan students will be wearing the white obi, and then 2nd Dan will be wearing the blue, and then 3rd Dan will be the green. And it's not mandatory. It's something that you could do if you want to. Yeah, but 4th Dan will be brown, and 5th Dan will be black. Yeah, it's a unique system. I totally understand. A lot of people have been telling us that once you get to Dan, it's always black for most Ryuha styles, right? But Asayama Ichiden-ryu's Dan rank system, started during during Seki Sensei's generation, so it's still a very new system that we created, and there are no rules that at this Dan rank it has to be this color. If you've only done a certain type of martial art before, like a certain type of Budo before, you tend to think that all other Ryuha styles or all other Budo needs to follow the way that you do it. But no, of course, every Ryuha style, every Budo has its right to create its own systems, whatever works, so we don't have to have the belt at a certain color. But anyways, yeah, so at the Hombu though, almost all of the students are wearing just simply white belt, and those who can wear the black belt are students who are not high at Dan ranks. But at the Hombu, there's also something called the Den ranks. Den ranks are basically, of course, what should I say? Dan ranks represent how much technique level you have, and then the Den ranks represents how much you're trusted by the headmaster as an instructor, as a person who is representing the Ryuha and can teach it. So just because you are very skilled in Asayama Ichiden-ryu doesn't mean you automatically get Den ranks. Okay? But flip that over, that means if you want to get Den ranks though, you do need to have certain level and Dan ranks as well. That makes sense. So only the students who are entrusted in teaching Asayama Ichiden-ryu will be able to wear the black belt, and you got to get up to a certain rank in the Den-i, not Dan-i, Den-i, D-E-N, Den-i, to be able to wear the black belt. So the system's completely different. Yeah. So hopefully if I go up to I'll be taking the Hombu 3rd Dan, right? Yeah. If I take the 3rd Dan, if I pass, and if Seki Sensei says yes, I'll be able to see the Shoden, which is the 1st Den. Yeah. And then next is Chuden, Okuden, Shihandai, and Shihan. Okay. And so there's only 2 Shihandai senseis right now, Atsukawa Sensei, Kurosawa Sensei. Yeah, and there's only 1 Okuden Sensei right now, I believe. Yeah, and there are many Chuden and Shoden students. Yeah, but until Okuden, you don't get to wear a black belt. So the system's completely different. That's the reason why, I'm sure you might have been curious, that's the reason why I'm wearing a white belt at the Hombu. Okay, because I follow the Hombu rules when I'm training at the Hombu. So the belt system is completely different, but it's just simply to make it easier to understand for the whole community. For the online lessons, we don't actually get to see each other in person. So, you should say, it's really hard to tell which student is in which Dan rank, and what to expect from that student, if that makes sense, So if your sensei is watching you, and if you're 3rd Dan, then he'll be watching you as 3rd Dan, if that makes sense. If you're 4th Dan, he'll be watching you as 4th Dan. What he expects you to be able to do, capable of, is completely different. So we wanted to make it easier for Seki Sensei to immediately see someone and be able to check them, So that's the reason why we created this new system. But yeah, and just simply, you can probably feel some progress too as you go up the Dan ranks as well. So that's another reason why we wanted to create the system. But yeah, that's the way it works. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, if I go up to 3rd Dan, I might be able able to get Shoden. Once I go up to 4th Dan, I might be able to get to Chuden. Once I go up to 5th Dan, Honbu, by the way, I might be able to get to Okuden. So in 2 years, so this year 3rd Dan, next year 4th Dan, the year after that might be 5th Dan. If yes, it's totally up to Seki Sensei and how much training I've done at that time already. Hopefully in 2000, that means 2028, I might be able to get up to the highest down rank in both online and also in person. Yeah, the Honbu down ranks, and I might be able to wear a black belt wherever I am. Yeah, online, in person, I'll always be able to wear a black belt. But that will be a dream come true if that day comes. Yeah, because there are, of course, a lot of senpais at the Honbu Dojo. Senpai means seniors, right? I have a lot of senior students at the Honbu Dojo, but many of them will not be able to receive the black belt because he really is. He explained to us in a video before that we posted on last Seki Sensei, but it's really up to your personality, if he really can trust you, because you're going to be representing Asayama Ichiden-ryu. When some people outside our Ryuha sees that specific person, they're gonna think, okay, Asayama Ichiden-ryu is this person, basically. So that's what it means to be wearing a black belt. In the online lessons, that's what it means to become a branch leader. Yeah, you represent the style. Who you are is Asayama Ichiden-ryu from many people's eyes. So that's the reason why we can't just let anyone become a branch leader or wear the black belt at the Honbu. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to get there. Yeah, and how much time do I still have left? A little bit more. Yeah. So speaking of these down ranks and wearing black belts and stuff like that, I've been thinking about something. I talked about this before. What's really important in certain times of your life. I talked about that in your 10s. Friends are really important. In your 20s, your stamina, your energy is really important. In your 30s, your technique skills are important. In your 40s, connections, human relationships are important. In your 50s, your health is important. In your 60s, cuteness is important. Yeah, how adorable you are is really important. I talked about this before in a previous podcast. So I'm in my 30s right now. So 30s is all about brushing up your techniques and skills, because in your 20s, if you lived your 20s to the fullest, you've used all of your energy and your stamina into finding who you are, into trying to decide, basically discover who you are and what you want to do in your life. And in your 30s, you need to know where you want to dedicate your life to. And yes, I do. I know where I want to dedicate my life to, into Japanese traditional culture and spreading it to the world so that more people can enjoy it together and build a very peaceful, happy community as much as possible through all of these different forms of art. That's my dream. So the thing is, I've been looking at a lot of some real estates, some places that I was hoping to use as the Kyoto Dojo. But after going around and seeing some of these places that are actually really suitable to become the Kyoto Dojo, I've been starting to feel that all the time and money it takes to start the dojo, all the things I want to do currently, to be honest, I could do. In my head, I was really caught up with the idea that I have to have a dojo. I have to have my own dojo, and that is like the best thing I can do, kind of thing. But when I actually went and of course, knew the price of how much everything is going to cost, I was like, I think I really want to do more training right now, and not use so much of my money and time to, maintain a dojo, a place where I'm not even a black belt yet, So if I completely change the direction of my goal right now, I've been saying that if we reach 100 members, my goal right now is to open my own dojo in Kyoto. But so the place I thought was amazing for the Kyoto Dojo actually costs about 10 million yen to get started. I need to renovate the place. I need to have everything. There are no walls. It was a skeleton. In Japanese, we call it a skeleton building. So there's no floors, there's no ceilings, nothing. So it takes about 10 million yen, and it takes about almost 600,000 yen per month to rent it. Yeah, that's really expensive, right? Yeah, I'll have to work to maintain the place, not to enjoy what I do, not to enjoy the community and have fun with everyone. I'll have to work to keep the place, and that's going to have to be my goal. And at where I am in my life right now, I really do want to cherish the time I have with my family when my kids are still young. And I also really want to focus on my own training. There's so much I still want to learn, and there's so much that I know that I need to learn and understand. And that's not just in Budo, but also in tea ceremony and also no theater too. So that's the reason why I talked to you guys before. Of course, I do 3 hours of training each in both the Tuesday and Thursday in Asayama Ichiden-ryu's Kyoto Dojo training. There's 6 hours of training I do in person, and I hold online lessons 3 hours myself, my own online lessons 3 hours. That's 9 hours of training I do every week. And I decided to actually, every time I rent a dance studio for the online lessons or for the in-person training, I've decided to add an extra hour to Mondays and also to Tuesdays, so I can train some of the techniques that we practice in the online lessons. Or I really want to practice some of the shunjo, the jojutsu, the staff, of Asayama Ichiden-ryu, and tamakusari, suburi, the swinging exercises. I want to be able to do those smoothly as well. So there's so much that I want to train. And also, the additional time to the bigger dance studio that I use for Kyoto Dojo, I really want to do training for no theater. Speaking of no theater, my sensei, I was really honored. My sensei during training the other day, he stopped me and said, "Shogo, if you feel you're ready to do an official no performance, that's a full piece, which on average is about an hour long. So if you want to do a full no performance, just ask me anytime. I think you're ready." Yeah, and he told me, "Shogo, by technique, by skills, of course, you're definitely have to learn a lot more. Yeah, but from your attitude toward your training, I can see that you're very serious and you will take good care of the piece that I ask you to do." So I don't ask my students to do a full no performance just because they're good at it. I say that you can do a full no performance because I know that you will be doing it seriously. You'll be taking care of these pieces very carefully. And I was almost about to cry when he said so, because I was so happy that I wasn't aiming for that. I was just doing my training seriously because I enjoy it, but he said so. And I was like, you know what? I think that is the kind of stuff I should be doing now. So it actually takes a few million yen to hold these full performances, because we need to hire many professionals. I need to get the full costume, the full kimono costume. I need a real mask. I need all of these trainings and everything. So it takes a few million yen, to be honest, to hold just one performance once. Yeah, but it's going to be really important for me as a no performer. So yeah, I was like, I really wanted to get my time and energy and money into these things right now, at least in my early 30s, And once I go up to the black belt level now, Asayama Ichiden-ryu, once I become a shihan and tea ceremony, no theater, and so on and so forth, I might start making other decisions, maybe finally challenging myself to renting, a place for a dojo and stuff like that. But for now, I really want to train more, and passing the 4th dan exam really made me think so, because I wasn't really so much satisfied with how I did in the 4th dan exam. Now, of course, I have rotting fingers because of my Raynaud syndrome, stuff like that, so that's the main reason why I couldn't do the techniques I wanted to. But still, I was like, I want to feel worthy. Of course, Seki Sensei proved it, so I'm very happy, but at the same time, I want to be very confident and feel worthy of the Dan ranks that Seki Sensei gives me. So I really want to train a lot harder. So that's the plan. Yeah, so I decided for now, I'm not going to be renting anywhere else. I want to dedicate my time to training, so I've added a few hours of training. I will go to every single training I can for tea ceremony. If my tea master asks me to go and help at any events for tea ceremony, I'm going to go and help every single time. Yeah, and I want to learn and experience as much as I can while I enjoy a nice Sunday with my kids and my wife. Okay? So guys, I have to check out now. Thank you so much for listening. I'm really sorry for the bad audio quality, but I look forward to talking with you guys again. Thank you so much.